Hey everybody, and this is the 4th episode of our TemplateMonster podcast. And today we're going to be talking about something probably a little bit less entertaining, but more important for you if you work with WordPress on a day-to-day basis as a website owner, a business owner who runs their website, or as a WordPress developer. Your hosts, as always, are Alex and Irene. Hi there, how are you doing?
Well, I'm great, and how are you?
Well, same. So, could you please expand a little bit on what we'll be talking about today specifically?
Okay, so hello, my name is Irene. A little reminder, I'm a YouTube content marketer for TemplateMonster, and I'm a former SEO specialist at TemplateMonster, so I'm kind of credible to talk about the things we're going to be discussing. Yeah. So this is basically going to be the podcast about SEO tips for WordPress, and hopefully this is going to be interesting for you.
We will be throwing a lot of terms around and a lot of references to different things that you can find online. And just so you don't waste your precious time, we picked all of those links and all of those references we mentioned further in the video into a neat list down in the description. And you can go there and access all of the resources that we mentioned. So, well, should we get started? I think that we'll go over all of the topics in the following order. First, we'll talk about the basic terms and the basic rules and basic principles of SEO that have been around quite a while and are still relevant today. And then we will talk about WordPress specific approach to SEO, right? We'll mention a couple plugins that you can use to up your SEO game if you're using WordPress, if you run a website on WordPress. And
of course, we're going to mention special SEO plugins for WordPress, which will make your SEO strategy a little bit easier. And if you're really only beginning to, getting your hands on search engine optimization, then probably using SEO plugins for WordPress is a great idea. So we'll just hint on which plugins are better for you, like as a beginner.
Yeah, of course. And lastly, to sum it all up, we will touch upon the trends for 2020 and beyond. So we'll talk about the things that are just gaining momentum, just starting to become very, very, very important for SEO. The things that have appeared pretty recently, but are already making a big and significant change to how you should approach SEO for your website, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That are going to be interesting for people who are business owners or people who want to establish a solid online presence with their WordPress websites. And of course, for WordPress developers who are involved in WordPress theme development, and maybe they also need to know this for being better professionals. So hopefully this is going to be interesting for you.
Well, this sounds super exciting, at least to me, and I hope you guys will like it too. And definitely, if you're going to build a website in 2020, there are a lot of things you need to know besides SEO. And SEO is actually a super important part. A lot of people might think that it's all that, on the sidelines, but it's actually not. And it's actually a crucial part of the success of your website. You can build it from the ground up, using a super modern techniques, and you can build it being a super clean website with great code. And if you miss out on some SEO stuff, it might not, a lot of people might not see it at all, and all your work will go in vain, because if you build a website, of course, you have some goals in mind. And SEO is a tool that is there to help you achieve all of your business goals and all of your marketing goals and stuff like that. Am I right?
Yeah, wow. Absolutely. Like everything you said. Absolutely correct. But actually, what I'm trying to talk about, or maybe what I will be trying to talk about in this video, is that there are lots of misconceptions right now because, we're starting the new decade, and people are thinking that, okay, new decade, new rules, new tricks to search engine optimization. Well, it's partly true, but I'd say that classic on-page optimization technologies, like techniques, are still trending, and like you shouldn't be in a hurry to switch for new trends and to chase new trends, because you know, you have to stick to the good old SEO rules as well. And will you be asking me some questions, or maybe I should be continuing my conversation?
Well, I don't mind, because, you know, asking questions is all I can do in this topic, because I don't know much. And I actually, in this episode, I'll be actually representing a part of our audience who don't know a lot about SEO. So yes, of course, I'll be asking questions as a person who is not super knowledgeable about the topic. And let's imagine that I am... Can you hear the echo, or...
Not really.
Am I the only one hearing the echo? All right. No, it's fine now. Yeah, sorry. Probably something on my end. So in this episode, I'll be representing the people, let's say, who own a business, or maybe they're building a website for a client, and the client asks them for some SEO optimization service or something like that. And of course, you want to know how to provide for your client. This is why I started researching.
Yeah.
Okay. You were talking about the new trends and some things that are changing, but let's assume that I have no idea what SEO is, like basically what it is and what it stands for, like a search engine optimization. We all know that, but okay, let's say basic SEO rules, SEO principles in short, as a brief overview, brief outline of what it is. How could you describe it?
Well, search engine optimization basically is what a person, like a website owner, does to their website, so that people could find it online, so that it would appear on search engine results page, or SERPs, so-called Google SERPs, and so that people could actually see it fit their search query, or a term or a phrase that they enter into a search engine like Google or Bing or Yahoo, I don't know.
Oh, well, basically keywords.
Yeah, so that whenever people are looking for information, they can find it on your website, and your website would be the first, or at least one of the top 10 results to fit their requirements. And what's important in search engine optimization is it has to be for people, because, you know, all of those tricks that SEO specialists use to, lure machines and to trick the spiders, the Google bots, or whatever. All of this is cool, of course, but we have to keep in mind that we're optimizing for people, like for human search and for human needs. And so I guess that's what's important.
You mean if we do content marketing, if we write an article, we shouldn't just stuff it in with the keywords and not really, so the sentences become really unreadable and illegible and stuff like that. We should actually create good content, but so people can actually access this content, so it brings value to people, and not only just throw all the keywords and all the things in there. Is that it?
Yeah, exactly. And in 2020, it's all about value. Well, actually, it has been about value. And I guess that you've heard the phrase "content is king," because, people are searching for value, because whenever you go online, you're searching for something that will be useful to you. And there are algorithms like Google algorithms and algorithm updates, and also evaluation technique, like content evaluation technique, that actually evaluate and estimate the content by value, and how truthful it is, how valuable it is, and how it can be useful for people. And there are even some algorithms that evaluate content for its danger to health or to money, like human money. So that's also cool.
Oh, this sounds like something sci-fi-ish. It's really crazy. Maybe should we share like some articles so people can read more about it in the description? So
absolutely.
Shouldn't forget about that. I have to take a note.
Yeah, that's called EAT and YMYL.
These are like meaningless letters to me right now, but I'm gonna learn more about it, I promise. Well, so based on what you've said, I can make a conclusion that basically SEO and content marketing are almost synonyms. Like, well, not synonyms, but they go hand in hand.
Close by, yeah.
They go hand in hand, and they like
Absolutely.
they are impossible without each other. Something like this.
Yeah.
But you can do SEO like by optimizing the titles, headings on the page. I've heard something like that.
That's called on-page SEO. And whenever these are called metadata, like meta tags, like title tags, meta descriptions. These are the things that are used by Google spiders or Google bots to read like the preliminary information about your website. So whenever a spider crawls on your website, it evaluates it by looking for some keywords within these meta tags, and these are placed in the HTML code, like in the header of the website. And so whenever you write it, it's faster for Google spiders to understand what your website is about. But of course, there are a lot of other things like maybe some sitemaps, which actually map all of the links on your website, and robots. Like there's a special document called robots.txt, which also lists very important information about your website. So all of these things are important. Like these are the basics of SEO that are used by Google to evaluate what your website is about. So in a nutshell.
Well, this all sounds actually crazy, and probably if people are interested, if you guys are still watching, if you're still there, comment down below, leave a comment, and if you want to learn more about any of these specific things we talk about, feel free to leave your comments. We'll go in depth. We'll ask Irene to come on the show again we'll just have a call, and we'll talk about that more in depth because it's all super interesting. But in this episode, we want to, just make an overview of the things that you need to know to get started with SEO. So it's like maybe for people who don't know much about it, like at all.
So metadata and on-page SEO are like the basic things a person should know to be able even to use like WordPress plugins on their websites, because most WordPress plugins will be talking about that, but like to tell a few words about that. Also, all of these plugins, they actually help you optimize the meta tags, like write meta descriptions, use keywords, and follow.
For the articles and...
exactly. Like avoid keyword stuffing and stuff like that. So this is important.
Yeah, we'll talk about the plugins at the end of the video too. So we'll name specific plugins and give you a list and short overview of those plugins. I know we were going to talk about that, and we will at the end. But one last question I have about these basic SEO things like metadata, titles optimization, and stuff. So we were talking about content marketing, writing articles, running a blog. These are all things that you just do them all the time.
Yeah.
Right? This is a continuous thing. But all the titles, things like meta, I've heard something about something that you insert in the head, inside the head tags in your HTML, markup and stuff like that. So should we care about SEO at the very first steps of building a site? For example, using a theme. If you use a WordPress theme, does something like SEO optimized WordPress theme exist? Is it actually a real thing?
Well, yeah, it is. But, people have a misconception about that, because whenever they purchase a theme, they believe that like everything is done for them. But actually, there's no ready-made solution in terms of SEO, because this is very project specific. So before you actually start your project, you have to create like a semantic core of your website. It's called by SEO specialists semantic core, which means that you have to gather the keywords that apply to your topic, like basic keywords, for instance, like WordPress. and more keywords that can like be synonymous to your topic, or maybe like broaden the range of topics that you will be talking about on your website. For instance, like business WordPress themes or WordPress themes and stuff like that. So, and you build this semantic core around these few keywords that you will be optimizing for. And afterwards, when you purchase a WordPress theme, it should have places like ready meta tags and maybe some plugins included if we're talking about WordPress plugins, right? So that you can insert your keywords already, like which you've already found, right? You can insert them into your theme and use it right away. So that's the point. And a WordPress optimized theme is the theme that has all of the these meta tags and all of these things that are needed for basic optimization already. For instance, they may have permalink plugins, which allow you to create specific links for a specific article, for instance. Mm-hmm. So and insert keywords into this URL address so that Google can identify this article as a specific article about a specific topic, for instance. But this is a very, I guess, a complicated example I've given. But the point is that a WordPress theme that is optimized for SEO should be helpful to you whenever you're trying to insert your keywords on a page, if that's like a very rough explanation.
No, I get it. It helps you a bit. It helps you start out building your SEO thing. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Strategy.
I have a pic here. Building your SEO, working on your SEO game, but it doesn't do all the work for you. Well, this is what people might assume. Of course. Okay. This was a great description, and I kind of start getting into it. And so far so good. Quite clear for me.
Sounds optimistic.
Yeah, you're a good teacher. You're a good teacher. Let's stop at that point.
Okay, fine.
Okay, moving on. You mentioned something like all of those terms. Is there something like a glossary of all those SEO terms and stuff? We'll link it in the description too. Maybe some websites or something like that where you can read more about it. Do we have actually an article on some SEO basics on TemplateMonster blog? We have to. I'm sure we must have it. I've seen something like this. We'll link it in the description if we find one, but there was one, because I remember reading something on SEO on our blog, and we actually, if we don't have it, we have to write it.
No, we actually have a big SEO guideline at TemplateMonster blog.
That's of course. For sure. I knew that.
Yeah, we have a few videos also on the channel.
Okay. So the next thing, as a person. Okay, so let's say I know how an SEO optimized WordPress theme works. I have set up all the metadata, right?
Right.
Okay, what is the next thing I have to care about for my website in terms of SEO?
Well, let me think. There's also another aspect that is gaining momentum currently, which is video optimization and image optimization, and schema markup, so-called. I'll be trying to explain this. This schema markup is an important thing because I'm sure that whenever you used Google, you've searched for something like maybe a recipe or a movie, right? And you must have noticed that there's a separate block of information which goes before all of the search engine results.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And so, these are called rich snippets. And these rich snippets can be formed by Google algorithm, judging by what it reads from your website. But your website has to be optimized with this special markup so that it would find its place in these rich snippets. To get to rich snippets, you have to use schema markup. This is a special markup. And this, well, basically speaking, this is also a code which you can generate automatically, but you have to insert your like specific things, like maybe an address to a video or maybe some page. And this markup is used to identify some things like events, or maybe give reviews, like these 4-star or 5-star reviews, maybe like for product pages, for recipes, for movie reviews, for like places reviews, like restaurants, maybe diners or whatever.
Yeah, can I just can I ask something?
Yeah, sure.
And I've seen those done for articles. Like if you have a search query, like you ask something, how to do something, and then at the top of the search results you have this short snippet with some excerpt from some article. So this is what we were talking about.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
also I've seen, like, when you type like cafes near me or something like this, and you have a list of cafes popping up with as you said, the rating, and well, you meant a different thing, but whatever. You have this list of you have this list of cafes around you, and is there a way to get in that list? Can your site get there, or is it done the same way?
Well, not exactly. You have to claim a business profile on Google. There's like an option with Google to register a business page. And if you're a local business, this is very important for your business to get a representation, like local representation, right? Because near me searches have been a huge trend for like the past maybe 2 or 3 years. And whenever a person is looking for a cafe near me, if you have this Google business page set up, and if everything is filled out, like all of the necessary information, like the time, working time, or maybe some reviews, then most likely it will get into those rich snippets and a person will find your cafe or your restaurant. But for this, you need to have like an extra website, which is a Google business website, so to say. So that's like a different thing. You're kind of registering a business card within Google, like submitting your business to a Google directory.
And you'll have you'll have like a profile page there, like a business profile representing your business with all the data they need to put you on those lists and the search pages.
Yeah.
Oh, I got this. Okay, wow. This is cool. This is cool that there's a way to do that and a way to get there, and doesn't sound too complicated.
No, it's not. I actually did that for like a friend's business. Like a friend of mine asked me a couple of years ago to set up this page. And so like to claim this page, everything you need is just a code, like a verification code that Google sends to you in by general mail, like by paper mail. You just receive an envelope, you enter the code, and that's it. Like
really?
Yeah.
Oh, by a pigeon. Like letters delivered by pigeons.
Yeah.
Okay, you mentioned, we need schema to summarize. We need schema markup to get our our articles and excerpts from our articles to appear in that card at the top.
Yeah, and especially this is important for videos, because video marketing is now very huge, like a huge trend, and to get your video to like Google search, to get your video represented for like in Google search, when you insert videos into articles, for instance, right? You also have to optimize an article with schema markup for videos. So it's a
little different thing.
Yeah, but it's somehow related as well. So you just have to use schema markup, and if you want to know more about it, you can just go to website schema.org, and it has everything you need to know about it. So we're not going into like length.
We'll link it below. Guys. We'll link it below.
Yeah, absolutely.
And another thing, I've seen that. Well, is it what we were talking about when you like? Also, you enter your search query in the Google like search field, and then you have all the video. You have a video popping up, and you can open a video, and it opens it on a specific timestamp where you actually get an answer to your question straight away in that video. How to do that? It looks crazy.
Well, actually, we've been using timestamps, right, in our videos at TemplateMonster, and that's for a reason, because I guess since November last year, or maybe like last October, it has become the ranking factor. It's
having timestamps in the description.
Yeah, and if you
Wow.
insert the timestamps, you actually get more chances of your video being found, and that's exactly what happens whenever you're putting like 30 seconds of whatever and writing something next to it. Google knows about it, and so your video gets to Google. And whenever somebody is looking for this specific thing or maybe something related, your video pops up because you have the timestamp in the description.
Wow, but we'll talk about that later. It's a completely different topic, but it's super interesting, and I have to know more about that. Because, I've been tasked with making videos on YouTube, so I have to know more about how to actually do that.
Thing is that SEO is all about trial and error, and you can't really be sure, like 100% sure about the techniques and algorithm updates that Google rolls out, right?
Yeah.
But as SEO specialists, they gather all of this information from what Google managers say, and sometimes they give like a Q&A or an interview, and if you can read like in between the lines, then you absolutely know what to look for. So that's also important to say.
So you have to stay on top of this, all the info, and have all the info all the time. So you have to follow it constantly.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Okay. This entire thing, schema markup, image and video optimization for a website, right? Let's move away from the YouTube.
Okay.
Can we do that with a plugin on WordPress?
Well, actually, whenever you're using image optimization, for example, you need to make images as small as possible without losing their quality, like too much, right? So that they could be still viewable, but not too large, like maybe, 100 megabytes or something, because these are too heavy. And obviously, this slows down your website and the page load speed drops, right? So you have to optimize the images, and you also have to write the alt tags or alternative text.
Okay, like a description for your image, so Google can read it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe people who can't load this picture for some reason, they at least know what it's about. Like if there's like this little screen with unloaded picture.
And there are plugins for that. I know that you have tons of plugins for image optimization, and it's actually, well, what about videos? Well,
about videos, actually, I haven't really experienced like these things with WordPress websites, so I can't really be talking about this. But I know that there's embed codes, and with their help, you can actually like make a video smaller. And maybe if you're embedding the video from a side resource, then probably it's loading a bit faster than if it's somewhere on.
If it's self-hosted, Of course, if it pulls out the video from YouTube, for example, it will load faster than if it's like in your media library or somewhere.
So
okay, so, well, basically, yes, we can. Can we use plugins to add a schema markup? Is it the same thing as,
Yeah, absolutely. There's a special separate schema plugin. It's free, and you can download it from WordPress.org. And
since we started talking about plugins, let's actually discuss now. Let's discuss what plugins we should have as a website. Like let's say I'm a website owner, and let's talk about what plugins I have to install. I keep hearing echo. It's weird. Hey, what plugins should we as website owners install on our site to keep up our SEO game, to level up our SEO game, to actually improve our ranking and stuff? What plugins should you install, and are there many plugins, or maybe you need only one, maybe you need many?
Like it, of course, depends on your goals. But if you're talking about what we're talking about, the core plugins, then probably it's Yoast SEO, because it's one of the most popular ones, and it has like free and premium versions as far as I know. And I've used it a couple of times whenever I was posting to TemplateMonster blog. And it's quite useful because it, for instance, tells you how many times you used your target keyword in your meta description, or maybe some headings or subheadings and within the text. And so this helps to avoid keyword stuffing, which is also bad for SEO because, like it shouldn't be more than 5% within the text, like your target keyword, and actually keywords should not be more than 5% of your text. That was like the rule a few years ago, but now I guess it's even less because there's this new algorithm called BERT. You probably heard about it, but it's not really oriented at keywords, but it's oriented at looking for the general meaning and the general context of what's written there. But anyway, keywords are still important, and so Yoast is quite handy to use, and whenever you're optimizing for several keywords, that can be very useful. So that's the first plugin. Then you need a plugin for sitemap, optimization, sitemap generation, because if you have a multi-page website, then that's an absolute must, because for instance you can have like some pages deleted and some pages appearing, and so you need to update your sitemap for Google bots to be able to crawl your website faster. That's like another one. What else? Well, that's not exactly SEO plugin, but you can use analytics plugin.
There is a plugin actually. You just have to connect your account to this plugin, and it will connect to your site and will help you, see the statistics and stuff, right?
Yeah, like the conversion rates, or maybe like how some articles on your website or some types of content on your website are performing, like good and bad. This can help you analyze and build your marketing strategy, because some types of content may not work for you, for instance, and you don't know that, and you continue like working on that and investing your time and money into that, and that's necessary. So that's like the third type of plugin. Of course, another type of plugins is for image optimization, like for fast. And like the fifth type is the schema markup, because it's getting bigger, and you should investigate how you can apply it to your website.
Okay, so Yoast SEO,
sitemap plugins, analytics plugins, image optimization and media optimization in general, and schema markup. I guess that's like top 5.
Okay, but if you just type in on WordPress.org, if you type SEO plugin or something like that, you will get a ton of these plugins like saying the same thing. How do you choose? Or you just pick one plugin and stick to it, or should you try multiple plugins and see what works for you best?
Well, I guess you could try, because nobody really prohibits you from trying. But
if there is a shortcut, if there is somebody to tell me which is the ultimate best one. So is there such a plugin, or there are multiple that we can try out and estimate for ourselves?
You can actually look at the number of user reviews, because, of course, we know that sometimes user reviews can lie, right? But, people left around 28,000 reviews on Yoast SEO, so you can't really get mistakes.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's fair enough. All right. About plugins, I think no more questions, and soon we'll be rolling out a video on top something best WordPress plugin you must have on your site in 2020, and Yoast SEO is the one to be in there in this list, and almost 30 more plugins. Is it 30? We're just preparing the video.
I guess
about
and
30.
Free.
Yeah,
free.
Yeah, and those are most of them. I thought all of them, but okay.
Well, yeah, but some of them have their
freemium,
freemium
freemium thing. Okay. All right. So we talked about plugins, and all of them will be linked in the description. And the last thing that we wanted to discuss for today's episode, maybe we'll continue next time if there's still something left for us to talk about, but I think we have 5 more minutes to talk about what you said in the very beginning. Like, we started the conversation with, well, before you know the trendy things in 2020, you first have to start with basic SEO terms and SEO basics, right?
Yeah.
But let's get back to the trendy things. Like, what is trending in 2020 and how fast is it changing? And judging by everything that you have said and everything that you've talked about quite a lot in this video, for me, it seems like a lot. And based on what you've talked about, it seems like these algorithms are constantly changing and they're constantly getting smarter.
Yeah.
And because they're using, of course, they're using AI, they're using all these things, machine learning, all of that. Of course, they're using that. And this is why they're learning super fast and they're getting smarter. So I'm pretty sure that what we will have in 2020 in terms of SEO trends and SEO tendencies and technology that they use is quite different from what we had in 2018, 2019, right? So what is hot for 2020 in terms of SEO?
Well, it's BERT. I guess that's 100% sure about BERT, because BERT is an algorithm that focuses. It focuses on natural language processing. So BERT is tweaked to find the context in your website. So, for instance, if you're looking for like a specific thing or a query, right? You're entering your query, and BERT analyzes the websites, and it will give you back, return a number of links which have the answers to your questions, specifically, because BERT also analyzes the way you put your search query in, how you change the order of the words in your search query. So, for instance, if you're making a search query, I don't know.
No, I get it. Well,
yeah, maybe a restaurant near me, this is going to be one set of results. But whenever you're typing something else with the restaurant, this is going to be another type of results. And these are going to be closely tied to what you're looking.
So at the same time... Oh, sorry.
More precision, yeah.
Well, at the same time, it seems like it is scanning all the relevant keywords, related keywords that also might be relevant for your query, and trying to analyze that and find everything that's around these keywords, which seems crazy.
There's a thing called LSI or latent semantic indexing, and this is a set of words that are related to the topic but are not strictly sounding like your keywords. So, for instance, if you're looking for WordPress themes, the algorithm will also analyze maybe some business or, I don't know, maybe WordPress plugins or something like that. So if it finds the words plugins, business, I don't know, optimization next to WordPress, then it thinks that it's more relevant to result to your query. That's the thing.
Yeah.
But that's a very rough explanation. I'm sorry.
No, I will link for everybody who is deeply interested and intrigued about what we've talked about today. There will be a ton of links in the description so you can read more about that. And as you mentioned, we have a guide on SEO basics at
I just wanted to say a few words about the human search evaluators, which I mentioned at the beginning, because remember I spoke about the value of the content, right?
Yeah.
And how it actually gets bigger and more important. And in 2020, it's going to be a lot more important because the algorithms are using three of these evaluators, which are the beneficial purpose. So each piece of content has to have purpose. Mm-hmm. Because if the content is purposeless, it gets deleted or banned or just thrown
What kind
down.
of content can get banned? There's a ton of useless stuff on the internet. Come on, what you talking about?
Yeah, but I guess that if it's related to some important topics like medicine or maybe health websites or something that is strictly related to important things for people, like, I don't know, food, safety, health, then for sure these websites are closely looked at and analyzed. And if they're fake or if they contain some fake news or fake information that can harm you or potentially be harmful to you, then these websites are getting banned.
Wow.
And that's what happened like last year whenever this like update or maybe this evaluator was rolled out. EAT. Remember I mentioned it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's like an abbreviation that stands for expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. So like a bunch of health websites, they got under Google ban because they were not like authoritative enough or not trustworthy enough. And this update, it touched upon all of this. And also there's another category which is called your money or your life. These are the websites that can harm your wealth or well-being and your life in general. So these are also getting banned and getting like closely looked at. So these are the tendencies that will be very important and relevant for 2020.
Wow. So the fact that this can now be analyzed and evaluated by machines, this sounds completely insane. Like, really? Wow.
But on the bright side, we're having less fake news.
Yeah. So you shouldn't post fake news. It's a bad idea.
No.
All right. So should I be like, okay, let's say I run a travel website or or I post tutorials on how to do like graphic design or whatever. Should I be worried about this algorithm, about this thing that I'll get banned or something? Should I be worried about that?
Well, if your information is relevant, if it's like true to what's actually happening in web design, right? If you're not getting like any bad reviews or maybe some, I don't know, there's a form that can actually get you banned by other people. You can submit a website to Google saying that it's potentially harmful, or for instance, it has adult content. And like in mere hours or maybe even minutes, the website gets taken down.
Wow.
So if your website is not a website like this, then you have nothing to worry about.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. It's getting even more and more interesting as you go deeper into the topic. Like, for real, we have to make a second episode. And if you guys are interested to learn more and talk more about that, maybe we could do this on a live stream, like together with Irene. We could, Irene will be talking. I'll be monitoring the chat and looking through your questions. So if you guys are interested, we might do that on a live stream and answer your questions, SEO related questions. If you have some, maybe you want to learn more about some specific thing that we touched upon but didn't go deeper into the topic today in this video. And we have to actually be wrapping this thing up. It's been 40 minutes and I know we love to talk, and especially if we know what we're talking about, which is
the topic is interesting.
Yes, especially when the topic is that interesting and it has so many layers. We could start on very basic and rough explanations of things, and you can go so deep into it and get to such tiny details. It's insane. So, to summarize, you guys, if you stayed up till this point, go to the description and check out all the things that we'll put in there. Also the timestamps if you want to rewatch some of the parts of the video. Also the links to the plugins will also be in there, so you can install them. Oh, I gotta be talking there if the camera is still working. All right. Yes, and this was pretty much it for this video. Thank you, Irene. Thank you for for actually that you agreed to come here and talk about such an interesting thing. I know you love talking about SEO and it's something you're deeply passionate about. I know that. So this is why when I thought of an idea to make a video about SEO for websites, especially for WordPress, I knew who to ask to come here to join me on the video, because I'm not knowledgeable enough about SEO and stuff to talk about that as an expert, but you definitely are. Well, guys, if you have questions, if you have more questions, probably some new questions emerged after you watched the video, feel free to leave your comments. Also, like and share this video if you find it interesting, if you found it valuable, and also let us know if we should stick to this format of content for some time, and maybe make a couple more episodes on talking about different things, inviting some more experts. Besides, I already have more experts to invite, and actually a couple more videos coming about WordPress specific topics. So if you're interested, stay tuned and check out your notifications in our channel for new updates. So is there something else I forgot to say? Maybe you wanted to say something too? Not really.
I just wanted to tell you thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And it was a pleasure to talk to you.
It was, and I learned a ton, and I hope you guys did too. All right, we'll be wrapping this thing up, and again, thank you so much for watching. See you in another video. Bye.